The Germans break the lockdown to protest against Angela Merkel. The European Commission are about to sue Germany, and other countries are thinking about leaving the European Union. Yeah, you ready? This is going to be a bumpy road. So as you've seen on this channel, we've been covering the clash between the European Commission and the German courts over the last few days. And it's kind of fascinating because until now, Germany have always seen themselves as the true masters, the true leaders of the European project. And now they have a bit of a problem with the EU and Brussels. Ironically, the head of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, is actually German. So that's kind of interesting. Now, we're going to show you this clip from Germany because the Germans are now breaking the lockdown to protest against the EU and Angela Merkel. But before we start, tonight's daily vlog at 8 p.m. I'm answering the weekly questions from the members of this channel, so make sure to tune in at 8 UK time. And if you actually want to become a member and get more access in exchange for supporting the channel and my work, then check out the link in the description or find the join button next to subscribe, or you could just go on your browser and type in youtube.com/mytousi/join, and then you could actually get the details there. Now, let's start by watching this clip from Germany. Well, it's interesting because we've always been told that the Germans are very obedient people. They just listen to the state and the government, whatever they tell them to do. I think things are changing. This is not really looking good because Angela Merkel's leadership is been undermined. At the same time, the European Union's lack of action and crazy micromanagement style of leadership is actually a bit of a problem. Now, to kind of have a recap, over the last few days, the European Union decided to do all this bond buying, and it's essentially quantitative easing, similar to the traditional version of printing money to help with the economic crisis in the Eurozone, because they know that they are going bust. And the German courts actually ruled against them, saying that we need to have more say as Germans, because we should, right? It's against our values. Now, firstly, Ursula von der Leyen made this statement, which is very direct. So she actually said that the recent ruling of the German Constitutional Court put under the spotlight two issues of the European Union: the Euro system and the European legal system. We take good note of the clear statement of the European Court of Justice on the 8th of May. So she's written this statement talking about the basic principles of the European project, and especially the monetary policy, and how the German courts, they have no right to go against this. Not only that, now the European Commission have decided to threaten Germany, to take them to court, to sue Germany, sue an actual country, one of their member states. Now, this is according to Bloomberg. That's kind of talking about the details and how this could actually happen. It's fascinating because, firstly, as the article again mentions, the whole issue, the legal issue, are escalating between the two sides. On Sunday, the European Commission threatened to sue one of the biggest economies because of because Germany questioned the legality of the European Central Bank's bond buying program with the 27-nation bloc ravaged by the current pandemic. Now, this is interesting because what they're essentially going to be doing is that how can the European Union actually sue one of their member states? Considering they always say we are a family, right? It's basically like, your father trying to sue your sister. so what they say is that Bloomberg says the European Commission, the EU's executive and administrative body, has the task of policing whether member states are abiding by EU law. If it finds that an EU country isn't complying, it has to take action. The Commission first informs the country that it's in breach and tries to negotiate a solution. That's usually what they do. They just kind of try to negotiate and talk their way out of the current situation. But the interesting question is, who decides which court is some sort of international dispute? Well, it's a very, very biased court because it belongs to the European Union. So the case would be heard by the EU's top court, the same one the German judges attacked in May. And this is a kind of panel that handed down the December 2018 judgment on the European Central Bank's asset purchases. Since the court has 27 judges, that gives it some leeway to make sure that all of the same judges don't rule on this case if it goes to court. What? Again, imagine you're in a family. One of the members is suing the other one, and the actual court of the judges are, for example, the mother in the family. What is happening? There's absolutely no balance or impartiality. We know what's going to happen. We know what the European Court of Justice are going to decide, which is kind of going to be very obvious for Germany. Now, what could Germany do to fix this situation? Well, not really much. They're already in trouble. For the German government, the situation is tricky. Its constitutional court has been a hallmark of civil liberties and has very high approval rates with citizens. Its independence is enshrined in the constitution, and the government can't just order it to reverse a ruling or set it aside. So now that they've made this ruling, they can't really make a U-turn, the German courts. At the same time, it goes against everything that the European Union stands for. Who's going to win in this? We don't actually know, but we know that usually the house always wins, which is the European Union. So Germany needs to change their values and their legal system, essentially. Now, this is actually creating a bigger problem for the European bloc, because there are now other countries that the top people in Brussels are fearing that they might actually start leaving. So this is according to the Express, talks about how Brussels now fears that multiple countries could quit the bloc amid a backlash against Germany. And yeah, so this is according to a leading European Union historian who fears that certain countries will be leaving. This actually includes a lot of countries like Spain and Italy and Greece, because they're already in trouble. And if this actually rocked the bloc, then it will be kind of unstoppable. And this is actually the EU historian Kiran Klaus Patel, who told the CNBC that it remains possible that Spain, Italy and Greece could launch their own EU exit referendums in the wake of this bitter rifts inside the bloc. Now, I'm not completely sure about referendums, because we've had these things before, whether it was in Greece or Ireland. They can overturn the result. They tried to do it with Brexit. So I think what is more likely is if a country with a strong a kind of Eurosceptic leader, for example, if Salvini or someone like him takes control of the Italian government, and if they just implement the exit, that could happen. But whilst you have people like Macron or other pro-Europeans in charge, even if you have a referendum in those countries, it's highly unlikely that the result will be respected. Europe don't care about democracy, you know that. But it is still possible that this situation will cause some chaos. But it's not necessarily just countries like Italy or Spain. Eastern Europeans are also going to be taking advantage of the situation. Now, Financial Times mentioned something very interesting. It's saying how certain Eastern European states are now sensing an opportunity in this German court ruling. And experts are warning that EU's legal bedrock are now shaken by this judgment. Now, the actual details of this article is talking about how the standoff has immediately thrown the spotlight on Poland and Hungary, given their existing legal battles with the European institutions. Both face proceedings under the Article 7 of the EU Treaty, which could see them lose their voting rights as member states of the bloc, though they have vowed to protect one another. Now, politicians from, for example, Poland, who have always accused the EU of exceeding its competences during the 5-year-long battle over the changes to the judiciary in Poland, were quick to seize on this ruling. Because if Germany could make this ruling against the European bloc, then Poland and Hungary, who are also going through similar existing legal battles, could decide to make a move against Brussels. Now, how on earth are you going to be stopping this? No idea. So this is what's happening right now. And Germany, they have other problems. As we said earlier in the video, we showed you how people in Germany are taken to the streets. They're not happy with their own government. Angela Merkel's behavior as a leader over the last, well, to be fair, a couple of years, but essentially the last few months with the current crisis hasn't been great. And the German citizens are becoming slightly less tolerant. And well, we have to kind of wait and see the developments because the European Commission apparently are coming up with new plans to harmonize the whole European project, to centralize things even further. So we don't actually know. I'm going to be, hopefully in the next few days, interview a number of people who are close to the European Parliament, and so they are obviously more reliable sources. We'll have to kind of see what they have to say. At the same time, the whole situation is that Europe is divided. There will be a massive backlash. The Eurozone could be collapsing anytime. It will take some time. It's a big ship, but it is going to be sinking at some point. So it depends how they want to reform it. So this is the show we have for today. And as I said, 8 p.m. Daily vlog. If you haven't seen it yet, obviously it's going to come out in a couple of hours. Make sure to tune in. We have the members' questions, but also we are talking about something very important about the foreign criminals in the UK. And the illegal migration. That's also a big issue in this country, and how the governments are becoming slightly complacent. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell, notification bell next to it, so you get notified. When you click on the bell, make sure to click on all, not personalized, otherwise you won't really get notified when I release my videos. And otherwise, I'm Tousi. I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video.